We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tận thính, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhật thiết chúng sanh, tịnh chiến diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát từ ly khổ đạc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Namo Sadanto Suchedo Ye Alahudi San Miao San Putos Ye. Namo Tạc Đạc Tha Tô Già Đà Già La Đế Tham Hiệu Tam Bồ Đà Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jie wen de shou chi yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yin. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Jingnan, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨、精良大士、师父上人、各位出家人、各位上智师，弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Hòa thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện tri thức A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone. Today is the 24th of March 2023. We're here at Gold Forest to continue discussing, as usual, the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra, written by Master Qingyang. Thank you all for coming. Here right now on slide. Oh, sorry, I just messed up. Slides, right here. No slides. Slides. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, we're on slide 302. He's in the midst of discussing why you don't want to divide the Buddhist teaching at all. He named 5 reasons. We went through the first 2. Number 3, We tried to finish it the last time. We couldn't. The 3 is that the Buddhist intention. The Buddhist intention was this is something you want to remember, memorize. The Buddhist intention are number 1, to open, number 2, to disclose, number 3, make enlightened 2, number 4, to enter the knowledge and vision of Buddha. This is why Buddhism was transmitted to our world for this very, very purpose. That's a Buddhist intention. What does it have to do with us? It has to do with the fact that primarily from a Sangha's perspective, we have to ask ourselves. The Buddha came out to our world to teach Buddhism going through these 4 steps. To open, to disclose, make enlightened 2, and to help us enter the vision and knowledge of the Buddhas. Okay, now he's no longer around. Now it behooves upon us to take over and do that. Okay? And that's very important. I don't think it's emphasized enough by the Chinese, because I learned from a Chinese, never learned from the Indian. And I'm very grateful to the Chinese people for transmitting a Chinese Dharma here through Master YongHua. Also the Taiwanese for supporting me as well. So besides, I was a Chinese emperor, so it's normal. Okay? Not Taiwanese emperors, no Taiwanese emperor. But anyway, so you have to now it is upon us to do these 4 things: to open, to disclose, to make enlightened, to help enter the Buddha's vision and knowledge. So we have to ask ourselves, if we really are grateful and devoted to the Buddha, okay, how much of it are we really doing? That's important. To me, I feel that my Chinese master never really emphasized that, and nor or the Vietnamese or the Koreans. It's just like everyone is trying to build temples, have disciples, become famous, and save a lot of people. But from a Buddhist perspective, it's 4 steps that you're supposed to do: open, disclose, help enlighten, help enter the Buddha's knowledge and vision. Okay? We should never lose sight of it. And to me, it sort of makes you a man or woman, if you will. If you're really a woman, how much of it can you do? We men can do more. Anyway, just kidding. Women don't find it funny. Women have no sense of humor nowadays. Anyway, so you see, so this is what separates the boys from the men. What are you capable of doing? Doesn't matter what you call yourself. Call yourself great master, call yourself patriarch, call yourself whatever. How much of it can you do? That's the bottom line. It's not about names. It's about carrying out the mission. Okay, folks? Okay. That's important to emphasize. That's all I want to do. I don't want to go into more than this, okay? Because it becomes really, makes a lot of people uncomfortable. 4, because with regard to each and every text, the multitudes of understanding are not the same. Okay, of course not. We understand differently. The boys right there today at Go Forest, they're listening, but they're more interested in playing and socializing with each other. So yes, they are being force-fed these Buddhist principles, but it will take them a long time before they can make use of it. Okay, so we all have different understanding. That's why it's best not to divide it. Okay? So that we give it to you and you will be able to absorb it as you're capable of absorbing. 303. 5. Because the many modes of speaking Dharma form tributary streams.
5. 多种说法成支流故。
Okay, what is he talking about? Commentary. The Buddha has different ways of speaking a Dharma. We talked about the 12 divisions earlier. You know, the prose, the verses, interjections, cause and conditions, predictions, Dharma spoken without request, and so forth. For example, Dharma spoken without request refers to very specific Dharmas where they're the exception. The Buddhas would not speak Dharma unless someone sincerely requests it. And that's a rule of thumb again. Don't open your mouth and try to convert your husband. I mean your wife, too, for that matter. Okay? Cut it out. Let her be. They're just as cute with or without Buddhism. Again, I'm going to get in trouble making comments like that. But it's natural. I get in trouble. Trouble is my middle name. I don't get to the middle way, but I get the middle name. Okay. So the Buddhas, he has different ways of conveying the dharmas. Sometimes he uses analogies and so forth. And so these different forms of speaking creates different types of understanding, even schools of thoughts as well. Okay? And that's all. Please don't worry. Don't try to understand everything. Just follow the argument of this great teacher, Master Qing Liang, one of the great Chinese teachers of Mahayana. Is it Chinese or Indian? Chinese, right? Okay, never mind. 305. Due to those 5 reasons, therefore, it cannot be divided. To divide it would lead one to become emotionally caught up in heterodox. 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 Never mind. Teach doctrine and to engage in contentions over rights and wrongs. For that reason, it is better not to divide it.
以思无益，故不可分。分之，乃令情垢异端，是非尽作，故以不分为德。
Heterodox. I don't know what it means. 306, commentary. So he says, given those 5 reasons I listed out to you earlier, therefore, it's best to teach Buddhism as Mahayana. Don't divide it into Avatamsaka school. Don't divide it into consciousness-only school. Don't divide it into Chan. Don't divide it into Pure Land and so forth. You know, you should not divide them up. Okay, and why? Because if you divide them up, here's what happens. Emotions. People feel very personal about their understanding. That's why they get very emotional about you touching them. Okay? And the translation a little bit off. Okay. It says here in Chinese, it says, because if you divide them up, people get emotional, and they establish yi duan they give rise to, they create different understanding, different explanations. Okay, so it's not quite quite heterodox, whatever heterodox. What does it mean, heterodox? I should have looked it up. Huh? Unorthodox. Why can't they say unorthodox? Oh, thank you. You're Chinese and you... Never mind. Okay, thank you. I plead ignorance. I will learn this. I will look it up, this word. Thank you. Okay. So the translation is correct. Okay, meaning that you have different theories. You give rise to different theories because people have different propensities, different preferences, different understanding, different capacities. So that's why they have different heterodox doctrines. Good translation. Thank you. Okay? And engage in good translation, in contention, okay, over right and wrongs. Also good translation. Here's what happens. It happens in Buddhism in particular that it brings back to memory when Master Xuanzang went from China, made an arduous trip from China to India with the intention of bringing back Mahayana to China. Okay, it's amazing how blessed the Chinese were in that, in spite of all their difficulties, they found someone, a great monk who made personal sacrifices and made the arduous trip and went over there. And he went around India and learned to pick up sutras and learn from the great masters. And he beat them all in debates. The tradition back then for the Indian masters to show their wisdom is by out-debating each other. Debating each other. Okay? And that tells you something. That tells me something. To me, when I first learned, I was impressed by that. I said, wow, this is a Chinese guy going over there, learn from an Indian, and beat up the Indian teachers. Okay? So I was impressed by that. But actually, it's now I look at it again, I said, contention over right and wrong. The people in India, or the people, Buddhism under the Indian influence, still debate each other. It, to me, is nonsense. Why do you have to debate? You debate because you are not sure, deep down, you're not sure that you know more, you're better than the next person. Yes or no? It's like arm wrestling. You say, I'm going to show to you, I can beat you, I'm stronger. But you're not sure, right? That's why you arm wrestle. Would you like to arm wrestle against that boy right there? I rest my case. Even girls can beat them. Okay? So, you got my drift? Why would you engage in debating someone? You look at the person and say, you want to fight with me? You want to out-debate me? Seriously? I'm going to indulge you in debating with you? Like a kid trying to come and say, hey, I want to beat you up. And you say, I want to beat you up? What are you talking about? No, you let them beat you up. Right? That's strength. Strength is that you win. You want to hurt me? Go for it. But I'm not going to hurt you. Am I making sense to you? So to me, it's totally unimpressive for the monks and nuns or anyone to debate each other. Monks and nuns should know better. They take one look and say, well, you win. You can have it. Are you wearing contact lenses or what? Sorry, I got distracted. Because she was looking and said, I said, what happened? Something different about this girl tonight. I finally, after 3 hours, I figured it out. never mind. I'm slow learning. Okay, I get distracted. Okay, so you see, when I look at it, I feel sorry for all the Indians. And you said, now is really time for Indian Buddhism to pass on to the Chinese because it's still doing things that are nonsense in that generation. You see, that means that the prior generation, the Indian masters, were so much more advanced than that current generation of Indian masters who engage in debates. Contention is what? Anti-Chan. If you fight, you cannot meditate. You cannot meditate, then we can not really transmit the certain teaching Dharma to you. What I mean by meditation involves crossing your legs, or standing there and participating in ceremonies, or walking around, recite mantras, sutras, and so forth, bowing. Chan is not only limited to crossing your legs. And don't you dare unbuckle. Someone said, that one I said, now I don't have to cross my legs anymore. It's too late now. Losers would quit. Once you get started, you go all the way. Okay, huh? Okay, so you don't want to fight. Fighting is a worldly thing. And worse yet, fighting over right and wrong is sheer nonsense. Seriously. You're out to prove that you know better than someone else is stupid and knows less than you. It is totally inappropriate, inconsistent with the practice of Mahayana, inconsistent with cultivation. Agree or disagree? This is my personal opinion. Okay, so that's why he says, let's not divide. Let's give it a whole bunch of teaching. 307. And yet, there are many reasons for division into teachings. One, although the principle is of one flavor, the explanation has shallowness and profundity. Therefore, it should be divided to make known provisional and actual.
其分教者亦有多义，一理虽一味，全有浅深，故须分之，使之全实。
Okay, 308. Now, my first reaction, here he goes again. He said, don't divide, and then let's divide. Make up your mind, man. I mean, we Americans are simple-minded. Are you in, or are you out? Are you with me, or you take the highway? Okay? But this is so quintessential Buddhism. We say yes, and then we say no. Okay? And that's Buddhism. Don't be so judgmental. Okay? Just listen and say, oh, yeah. Okay? And so he says, yes, it should not be divided, but it also should be divided. Depends. Okay? Depends. What are the reasons? The principles of one flavor. What flavor is a principle? What flavor is that? Men, let's test your wife's cooking. What flavor is principle? Is it Thai style? Hainan style? Sichuan? Huh? I call Sichuan now because that's all we read from the menu. Sichuan? Anyway, don't get offended, Chinese people. Okay? What flavor is that? Young lady back there is yawning already. Oh, this flavor I don't like. So difficult to please everyone. One flavor. What flavor is that? Why does the principle have a flavor? It is so clever the way he explains things. It's beautiful. Why did he talk about a principle have a flavor? Yes, sir.
Is it the flavor of the Dharma?
6. Okay, yeah, the son will figure it out. And then dad argues with it. No, you're doing it wrong, son. Let me tell you. Let me show you. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Give him something that works. Yeah. He's new. That's not scare him yet.
Is it the flavor of the Dharma, Master?
The flavor of Dharma. What is the flavor of the Dharma?
Truth. Truth?
What is the flavor of truth? That's not talk in circles here.
I don't know. I've heard that expression before.
Is that the total truth or partial truth? Because I've been to stores where the Christian claim they have the total truth. And I say, oh, beautiful. The total truth is so beautiful. What flavor is that? Why does he use flavor? This is a Chinese thing. The Chinese should know. Especially girls should know. Yeah. 4.
So flavor is something you taste, so that applies to it's how you receive something, your interpretation, personal interpretation, that's a flavor.
Okay. Okay, anyone else? JC, flavor. Dough and flavor. It's getting there. Yes.
Hello, Master.
Yellow. We see you
Hello.
soon.
So, Master, maybe is it flavor? Because, like, whatever flavor that is, everyone feels differently. Like, for example, when it's something sweet, somebody else feels maybe not too sweet. So, it depending on the person who experiences it.
Then how come he says one flavor? Don't contradict yourself.
What?
It says one flavor. How can you talk about sweet and bitter and? Huh?
You cannot express it because it depends on the person who experienced the flavor.
Then you cannot say it's one flavor.
That's why it doesn't say what flavor it is. It just says it's a flavor.
Okay. I'm going to her temple, so I'm going to be nice to you. Anyone else? Why one flavor? This is Master Qingliang. This is his genius. It's not the Buddha's. He says one flavor. He chose the word flavor. Chinese genius. Wei Mao. That's even if the Chinese cannot explain it. Let's teach them. Challenge all of you. See, the Chinese are getting now. They're getting. We're not contending, okay? We're just competing. Yes, Indian guy.
Master, I think from what I have seen so far with the practice, stillness is the flavor, I would say, because it's a consistently, when I cultivate, that's the flavor I get.
Consistently what? This guy
Stillness.
thinks a lot. So I'm careful when I listen to him. What did you say again? One more time.
The flavor of stillness.
The flavor of stillness. What about when we move?
And that's the goal, that I don't lose the stillness even when I work. Eventually, when I cultivate at a higher level samadhi, I can carry that stillness with me.
Then you don't know what you're talking about, buddy. You believe everything you're told? It's typical Indian. Anyone else? He believes anything. He says, you practice stillness so that someday when you move, you will still. Nonsense. How can you believe everything you're told? Huh? That's why he's not even married after all these years. Anyone else? What's the one flavor? JMT. See, the Koreans are so active. They get excited because
안녕하세요.
yes, JMT.
그 맛은 정해지지 않았습니다. 무맛이라고도 표현할 수 있고 무한의 맛이라고도 표현할 수 있습니다. 예를 들어서 우리가 한 가지 음식을 먹었을 때 건강했을 때와 건강하지 않았을 때 같은 음식일지라도 그 맛이 다르게 느껴집니다. 그리고 요리를 해보면 같은 재료를 어떻게 조리하느냐에 따라서 맛이 다르게 나타납니다. 그리고 사람에 따라서 그 맛은 각자 다 다르게 느껴지고 사람들이 맛을 알고 있는 그 정도도 다 다릅니다. 문화에 따라서 다르고 개인차도 많습니다. 그리고 지금 보산사에서는 밖에서 한 10여 분이 사리 전시의 준비로 법문을 듣지 못하고 주변을 정리하고 있습니다. 감사합니다.
Wow, that's a very long paper. Okay, translation.
That flavor is not decided. We can say it's no taste, or we can say it's limitless taste.
I knew it. This woman steals words from me constantly. Continue.
For example, when we eat the same food, we can taste differently when we are healthy and we are not healthy. And even if we cook the same vegetable, even if we cook differently, we taste differently. So it depends on the people and depends on the culture, the taste is different.
Wow. I like it. What I'm hearing when I heard the Korean, I couldn't understand a darn word, a darn thing. But when I heard her speak, I said, wow, this girl is having fun. Anyone? Anyone felt that way? No? No one, huh? Just me. I'm so lonely. Anyone else? No? Anyway. So sad. Flavor of sadness. Yes, ma'am.
I think going back to why it's a flavor, I think flavor also implies you kind of savor something, and then you taste, then you have this taste. So there's that savoring part, and then it's like how you personally taste it.
Very good. One flavor here refers to how you taste it. That's all. And that's the beauty of his explanation. The Dharma is one flavor, meaning that it tastes one flavor to you. It tastes a different flavor to you, but only one flavor to you. You see, it's one for each and every one of you. You're not impressed. Okay, give it time, give it time. Your personal preference. Okay, and that one flavor there changes with time, with your condition. When you have a fight with your boyfriend, it tastes bitter. Okay? When you're in love with your girlfriend, it tastes wonderful. So the one flavor at the time you listen. You don't like it. Hey, I can't explain everything. Okay. So the principle is one flavor. You could call it truth, you call it Chinese, you call it Thai, doesn't matter. Okay? What is inherent in this is that it tastes the way that you like it at that moment. That's all. That's all. The Dharma, it changes constantly. Because you change constantly. There's one flavor, the flavor that you taste at that moment, that's all. Just the same thing we eat. Sometimes because of our mood, we taste food differently. It's the same food, but we taste differently. Okay, forget it. Okay. I can't explain one flavor either. Never mind. The explanation has shallowness and profundity. Of course, it's one thing, one flavor. It's one thing, whatever you want to call it, flavor or one thing. Okay, but the explanations, like I just did to you, is so shallow. You didn't like it. Too profound. Then it's not for you. Okay, so. It depends on the teacher, on the students. Therefore, should be divided to make known provisional and actual. Here, he refers to, it's important to divide it, the teaching, from the perspective of benefiting this listener. Because it's one teaching, but in order to teach people who are more limited, then you want to teach them provisional. You don't want to teach them temporary things. Okay? So that you wait until they're ready to be taught more profound things, which we call actual. So in Buddhism, there are two types of teachings. The one type is provisional, because we simply are telling you things for you to know temporarily with the intention of telling you more down the road. We don't want to overwhelm you yet. So for example, we talk to you, tell you about the elephant. You heard of that anecdote in Buddhism. The king asked a bunch of people to describe an elephant. So they blindfold those old men, okay, maybe old women, and guided them to in front of the elephant. And one old man who was blindfolded old man said, "An elephant?" Yeah, they never saw an elephant before. So he said, "An elephant is like a long, flexible tube," because he touched the trunk. The other one, there's an elephant is a pillar, because he touched the feet of the elephant. And another one, he says, looks like a whip, and the elephant whipped him. Never mind. So you see, so depending on your capacity to perceive, to understand, we give you the provisional. Okay, why is it important? In Buddhism, it's kind of ingenious, because it's not just provisional. Provisional in Buddhism means that we prep you. We help you build a foundation, not just provisional. Provisional here in Buddhism is basically the foundation. They divide it into sound hearers and Hinayana versus Mahayana. To me, if you ask me personally, I feel that Hinayana is the foundation of Mahayana. Are we friends again? Huh? Matera so-so. Okay. So, because there's no way you can go further, higher, without the foundation that the sound hearers have built, that they are able to harness in themselves. Okay. What foundation? Before you can go further, you need to put an end to your ego. The ego is what stops you from opening your wisdom. As long as the ego is still around, you will stop yourself. You will not believe anyone. Am I making sense to you? Here's the analogy is this, never mind about the ego. Let me give you an example. We have a student who's have many students who are well educated and have great credentials in terms of education, professional achievements, brain power, and so forth. People who are older, younger, all sorts of people who have various degrees of achievement and accomplishments. And in the U.S., you can talk all you want, but at the end of the day, what have you achieved? What have you accomplished? Okay, that's the bottom line for us. So for those people who are achievers, who are successful in lives, they have this problem. Because of their success, they really have a hard time believing, developing faith. Because they say, I'm richer than you. How can I possibly trust you? I'm more successful than you. How can I possibly trust you? I'm better educated than you. How can I possibly trust you? I'm a woman. How can I possibly trust you? All those things. You know what I mean? And that's why, because I, remember, the common denominator is I. And that's why it's very difficult to help them transcend themselves. Until, in Buddhism, in Mahayana, we know, until we're able to help you break through your ego, you will always stop yourself. There's nothing we can do about it. So Hinayana is, they call it provisional. Actually, to me, it's called fundamental. Because fundamentally, you cannot go further until you stop thinking. I'm not looking at anyone in particular. Okay? You. Oh God. The world's in trouble. The women think too much. We men are easygoing. Daniel. You got that? So that's the problem. So provisional is actually, I'm temporarily telling you, see, this is the problem with the intellectuals and the people who categorize Hinayana versus Mahayana. To me, it's a mistake. And it doesn't bode well with people in our times because they're offended when they say, you're Theravadan, you're Hinayana, we are Mahayana. No. You are fundamental. We are quintessential. I mean, seriously, that you cannot go further until we help you let go of your ego, let go of your thinking. And that's provisional. Once you are able to let go of your thinking, macho? Is it macho or nacho? Okay. Yeah, the non-Spanish people, they don't know what the joke is about. Okay, so this is why the actual is not the truth. Okay, the actual, like they say, the actual is the truth, the true teaching. No, the actual here refers to who you really are, the Buddha in you. Okay, so the distinction is unfortunate, but and that's why, we have to live with Hinayana and Mahayana. But I feel that from a practical perspective, when as a teacher perspective, we look at you and we say, provisional, provisional. Okay, why? Because we tell you the actual teaching. You will not like it. You cannot take it. That's all. That's all there is to it. Any questions or comments? Okay, so for all practical purposes, provisional is Hinayana, actual is Mahayana. But however, there's no Mahayana without Hinayana. Okay? Mahayana has to build itself on the foundation of Hinayana. That's all. Okay? All right. So that's why there's no need to say, I'm Mahayana, Hinayana, you're no good. Or the Hinayana say, you Mahayana, you are deviant, you're evil. No, we need each other. Two, even though the Buddha's is a single sound, the accordings with potentials are different, so the teachings are distinct. Three, not yet disclosing his basic intention, he spoke according to others' intents, and so they are different.
二，约佛虽者一因，就机差而教别。三，本意未生，随他意语而有异故。
Okay, the Buddha's is a single sound. And that's a very Chinese, okay? Chinese translation. The Buddha is one sound. To me, Buddha is marvelous, but to them it's just one sound. And they have PhDs in Sanskrit, PhDs in English, PhDs in Chinese, and so forth. They translate this to Buddha is one single sound. 乐佛虽者一因。And they translate that into the Buddha is just a single sound. Yeah, it says the Buddha, although the Buddha speaks in one sound, one speech, but the potentials, the understanding is different. That's all. Okay. But the English translation is weird. They reduce the Buddha to one sound. And I say, wow, that's kind of sacrilegious, don't you think? Never mind, you don't find it funny. I find it funny. So lonely. Okay, so he says Buddha's, when he originally taught, he basically lectured, and he spoke, but it is that even though he only spoke but different, one sound, he spoke one teaching, okay, using sound, but the people, listeners, depending on their level, understand differently. That's all. So therefore, we should separate the teachings so that we separate the teachings into to correspond to the levels of the people, which makes sense. For example, in a Chan school, our lineage, we have two bloodlines. We have Linji and Linji and Weiyang. So the Linji is a little bit lower level than Weiyang from what I've seen so far. So that's why you need to divide different schools so that we can take care of different levels of students. That's all. Okay? 3, not yet disclosing his basic intention. He spoke according to others' intents, so they are different. So the Buddha cannot tell us. He says the Chinese 本意未生 is it Shen? Shen. So he says he hasn't expanded on his intention. He hasn't revealed his intention yet. He hasn't divulged his intention yet. He cannot possibly tell you where he's going. And that's the nature of the teaching. The teacher, the good no advisor, cannot tell you where he's leading you. Okay? He can't. There must be a sort of tension. Because if you know if the teacher tells you what he's going to do, it won't work anymore. It simply won't work. Okay, so that's why there is this. It's important that you are kept in the dark. This is an important point, folks. Especially you Vietnamese, especially you Chinese people, especially you Indian people who are intellectuals, who are only interested in knowing. Just tell me what I need to know. And sometimes you have to say, I can't. Because, why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why can't we tell you? You can't be trusted. So simple. You can't be trusted. We can't trust you. Wei Mao.
Masters, because of the ego. Because of the ego.
Yeah, that's one reason that we can't trust you. There's more than just the ego. The things where you have that they're quite often you have to be kept in the dark in order for you to understand. Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. Let's say if you put me through some sort of challenge and I'm not supposed to know. And while struggling for the challenge, in my head I think, it's a test that you put on me. Let's pass it. And does that count?
That counts as TMT. Dynamite. Too much thinking. You try to understand too much. You should leave it to men. I know, men like to think. Yeah? I speak from personal experience because my master, when he taught me, when he trained me, let me tell you, he kept me in the dark for several years. It's fascinating. The Wei Yang training is so different from you intellectuals. You know, what is it? You go to university, yeah. You take, in China, it's quarters, yes? Quarter system or semesters? Semesters. Okay, semesters. I went quarters, okay, so. Semesters. So you're supposed to know within a semester what you're supposed to learn, yes? Otherwise, you failed, yes? Buddhism is different. Buddhism is that you'll be kept in the dark until it's time for you to be liberated. That's a difference. So that's why I'm cautioning you against trying to understand too much. Okay? Because that understanding of yours is actually entrapment. I know you don't want to hear it. You say, but why do I bother coming to the temple every weekend, every Friday night when I have better things to do? Huh? Okay, I'm busy, how busy my life is. And I come here and you keep me in the dark. What for? And that's part of the test. That's part of your blessings. If you have enough blessings, you endure it. You don't have enough blessings, tough luck. Better luck next time. No, we don't want to hear this. Okay? So anyway, so the Buddha, the teachers, the good no advisors, when they teach you, the things they cannot reveal to you. So how does that work? How does it work then? It's not about you knowing. It's about you doing the right thing to understand. What it's like, if you will, it's like we need to navigate you, okay, through obstacles, if you will. It's an obstacle course, or if you like, rock climbing kind of thing, okay? And what we do is that you find a way, like you climbing rocks. Anyone climb rocks? This is new to me too. I don't climb rocks. I'm just making up an example. Okay, so you climb up rocks, you have crevices, yeah? And if you fail, you break an ankle or break a back or something like that and fall, okay? Fall and break a back and so forth. So you go through these obstacles and then all of a sudden you get to the top and say, whoa, this is it. This is why I'm doing this. Sounds familiar? The harder it is, the more rewarding when you get up there and say, oh wow, I'm so cool. Okay? Okay, non-rock climbers, weak people like me, okay? More easily understood thing. It's like you see, this is what you see right now. Look around you. The teacher is not going to try to tell you what's beyond that wall there. What he's doing in Buddhism is we have Dharma doors. So we lead you through, a Dharma door is basically a door. We lead you through and somehow get you to kick that door and see for yourself. And that's what Buddhism is. We cannot tell you what's beyond door number 1. No one watches The Price is Right, clearly. Okay? Too Chinese. It's a TV show that broadcasted at like 10 in the morning. It's only for unemployed people like me. We have nothing else to do. Never mind. Okay. So you see, it's meant for you to go through, figure out a way to go through that door here, to lead you through that door here. Okay? And that's why we cannot reveal to you our intent how to do that. Okay? It's a navigation. It's the skill of teaching. So that's what differentiates, for example, Master YongHua versus Master Xu Yun. Because Master YongHua's skill level is so high, he can lead his students through bigger obstacles. Whereas Master Xu Yun is much lower level, 8th ground Bodhisattva. He can only teach so much because the 8-ground Bodhisattva, they can't really teach yet. They're very wise. They have real wisdom, tremendous wisdom. But they don't know how to pass it on to you. Not yet. So that's why Master Xu Yun, at the 8-ground Bodhisattva, his students are, what I saw so far, 6-ground Bodhisattvas. They cannot go further. Because he doesn't know how to navigate his students to go through those obstacle courses. Okay? So that's why he says, Buddha is the same thing. Buddha says, for you to get to me, to my level, I cannot tell you how, okay? I cannot reveal you, okay? What I intend to do, okay? What I'm planning for, my plans for you, I can't tell you, okay? So, however, if he cannot tell you what he has in mind, what does he do when he speaks the Dharma? He speaks the Dharma according to what you want to hear. That's how he keeps you in the loop. He cannot tell you what he has in mind, but he can only tell you so much about the things you like to hear. Okay? The intent here, unfortunately, the translation here, they miss the point a little bit because they don't understand this process, is what he means that the Buddha says, 随在意语, meaning that 随在意 here refers to your interest. You're interested in engineering? He'll talk about engineering. You're interested in I don't know. Never mind. Go ahead, JMT.
네, 질문입니다. 마스터지께서 한국에 2년 정도 계시면서 수행에서나 일상생활에서의 어려움을 마스터지에게 의존을 하고 있었는데요. 마스터지께서 갑자기 미국에 가신 것도 저희에게 주어진 시험인가요? 왜냐하면 의지처가 없어지는 느낌이 들었었거든요.
While Master Ji was in Korea for 2 years, I solved my problem in my daily life and my cultivation, depending on him. Now Master Ji is not here, so I don't know where to depend on. Is it my test?
I cannot reveal to you yet. So sorry. Are we still friends?
영원히 친구입니다.
We will be friends forever.
I wish Koreans are more sincere. You are friends until you don't like me anymore. Okay. Okay, so my point here actually is a settle point that most students of Buddhism don't understand, is that the teachers, if you have no idea where your good no advisor is leading you, is taking you. So what do? What are you supposed to do? Master YongHua put it as tests. The Chinese call it tests. Chinese are so clever. They said, everything, Master YongHua likes to say that, and that's one of the first things I learned, and I didn't quite understand it until tonight. He says, everything is a test to see what you're going to do. If you fail, you have to start from square one again. It is so clever. It's so beautiful. Everything is a test. If you choose wrong, you have to start over. Meaning what? Translation into today's English. Translation. What does it mean? It doesn't matter. Yes, one.
You haven't learned your mistake.
You haven't learned your mistakes.
You haven't opened your mind.
You have opened your wisdom, yes. Okay. Anyone else? Getting there. It means, what happens if you test it? What does it mean? What does it mean you test it? Yes, 5.
You don't give up?
The test means, the Chinese have such an elegant way of putting things. Okay? Everything is a test. Okay? So for us, Spanish-speaking people, what do we say? Jesus? Jesus? Jesus, wake up. Go ahead. Jeez. All of a sudden they have audio difficulties. How convenient. They're building the altar at DTT for the 3 statues. We're excited about that, and that's why we're struggling with all these technical difficulties. Go ahead, Jesus.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah. Thank you.
Can you repeat?
Thank you.
Can you repeat the question, please?
Repeat for him. I forgot even what I was asking. It took too long. What was I asking? Was anyone listening? It's a test, and you fail again.
Translate Master YongHua's.
Everything is a test.
Everything is a test. I was going to give that if he knows what was that before that, but translate that into daily English, please.
Yeah, speak in English or Espanol. What is everything is a test? Don't translate. Answer.
In Spanish.
Huh?
In Spanish.
No English, please. Por favor.
Todo es una prueba.
What? What did he say? I told you English. No, nothing Spanish.
What means everything is a test?
Yes. What does it mean? To see what you're going to do. What does it mean?
We must be alert.
What?
We must be alert.
Must be alert. How original. Forget his Spaniards. Anyone else? Everything is a test to see what you're going to do. What does he mean by that? Are you gonna quit or not? That's the American version. Are you gonna quit? Are you gonna quit? Are you gonna unbuckle? Are you gonna unbuckle? We tell you to sit in full lotus. You say, oh, it hurts too much. You quit. You see, are you going to quit? Yeah? You're too smart. You say, no, I don't have to do this. Does it make sense? Everything is a test to see what you're going to do. Everything is a test to see if you quit. Are you going to quit? The tests will get harder and harder and harder. Are you going to quit? To see if you're going to quit. YouTube question.
MD Mirror asks, when reciting mantras, how can I have more faith in its effectiveness? I try to let go and say, nothing is as it appears, and I have no idea what is affecting, but it works. Is there anything else I should be doing?
Stop thinking. Just recite. Okay? You got that? Okay? I want to call your attention to this. This are you going to quit concept. Okay? Everything is a test. All the tests ultimately end up to that point. Are you gonna quit? Meaning what? Meaning that as a teacher, you cannot be afraid that you have no more donations. Not funny. You have to resign to the fact you're going to be poor the rest of your life. You cannot worry about, if this person quits, oops, that's $2 less per week. You got that? Yeah, you don't think it's funny. Yes, Daniel.
Thank you. I was just wondering, does the teacher test the student to the point where he might not make it? He could quit?
And is there a point?
I was just wondering if that is, or does the teacher also, does he try not to have him quit?
Oh, never. I would never put you to the point where you quit. Never. Don't worry about that. Ask those losers who quit. It's not my fault. Did I answer your question? I would never do anything that mean. Anyway. Next, 4. Because the discussions of the connective and separate spoke according to the revealed. 5. Because although one divides the provisional and actual, one must well understand the Buddhist intent in having an opening and disclosing.
4. 言有通别，就显说故。5. 虽分全实，须善会佛意，有开显故。
Yes, Conk.
네, 그만두지 않으려면 그러면 어떻게 해야 되는지 궁금합니다. 복을 많이 지어야 하는지 아니면 절에 자주 나와야 되는지 스님들 옆에 잘 붙어 있어야 되는지 궁금합니다.
So what should I do to not to quit? Do I have to make a blessing? Do I have to come to the temple more often? Do I have to be close to Snim?
That's a loaded question. Help her out. Help. Those of you who haven't quit yet, what's the difference? See, you should listen with your heart. Let me point out to you, this question here is from the heart. It sounds like she's thinking, but no, she says, I really don't want to quit. Can you hear that? I'm looking at girls, girl language. You don't hear? Okay. You hear or not? Yes, I don't want to quit. It's important for me not to quit. I said, oh. Oh. So tell me how not to quit. Yes, 5.
Keep your faith.
But your faith will be tested. Your faith will be put to the test. And the test is so hard that you feel like, no, this is too much.
Then drop all the thoughts.
For example, give you a specific example. You guys don't know how to ask questions. It's so sad to hear you. I only talk theory and everyone, oh yeah, that's not quit. Specific. Okay? You taught not to kill. It's very personal. Yes or no? Buddhism, you don't kill. Yes? The man said, really? Really? The woman said, yeah. The man, I never heard of that before. You don't kill in Buddhism. And the test was, I kill a cat. What kind of monk are you? I don't know. You remember one day for some stupid reason I said, I just killed a cat. And as soon as I said, oh no, am I in trouble? We're going to be poorer. What kind of monk would you taught me not to kill, and you go and kill a cat? And the saddest thing is not that. The saddest thing is all the men swallowed it. And said, oh, master is kill a cat. Oh, no big deal. And it's so scary to me, the level of confusion that's in you. As if like it's a cult. Master says, so only for you, but Master is exempt. I will not kill, but Master can kill. And no one, not even we never receive, at least as far as I know, my students shield me from a lot of unpleasant things. Okay? I haven't heard any negative comment face to face. What is happening here? Yes, one.
You taught us that we when we see other people's faults, we don't talk about it, but
So
we ask
you
ourselves.
disapprove of me. So let's have it. Let's hear it.
No,
okay.
it's
Time to spit it out. Hey, it's okay. I can take it.
No, I mean like we ask ourselves.
Are you sorry now?
For what though?
For what? For that. For that. What else?
but I didn't have any negative thoughts. So my perception was whether I had committed, something I'm not happy about, but I didn't. So.
Okay. JMT.
혜순 선생님 질문입니다. 마스터지가 안 계시는 것도 시험입니까?
This question is from Haesun teacher. Master G is not here. Is it test?
Okay, let's go back to the original question. What do I need to do not to quit? Okay? I don't know the answer to the latest question, okay? What do you need to do not to quit? Yes, 6.
Beautiful Master. I think you don't need to do anything. You only need to have a lot of blessing. And I think it may protect you when you need it.
Blessings, that's what he says. Yes, 5.
Thank you, Master. I think we just follow the guide from our good knowing advisor. Do whatever they ask, we do, and we won't quit. Thank you, Master.
Okay. Yes, 2.
Master Emitofuo. I have a question concerning this question. I've heard stories about Master YongHua's, some of his, even his first disciples, and some of them with high levels of attainment, going into seclusion, memorizing the Shurangama Sutra, and quitting and stopping for decades of not meditating. When I hear these things, I'm concerned as well. If those Sanghas also quit, who are we to think that we can pass these tests?
I quit too. I can't answer. It's personal too. I quit. I was second dhyana, I quit already. That guy Heng Qi is much higher level, he still quit. So what are we to do? Good point. What are we to do? JC.
저는 지금 생각해보니까 그만두고 싶을 때마다 법문 들으면 다시 잘 해봐야 되겠다는 생각을 많이 했는데 법문이 아닐까 생각이 듭니다.
In my case, whenever I want to quit, I listen to the Dharma, then it helps me.
Then why do you ask me a question? You wanna drive me crazy? That's it. I mean, she has the answer already. And she asks, "Are you checking me?" Yeah. Were you testing me?
생각이 갑자기 났어요. 질문을 하다 보니까. 근데 맞는지는 모르겠어요.
Suddenly the thought arises in me, but I'm not sure whether it's right.
Yeah. Okay. Oh well. I don't have the answer either. Okay. The general answer is you quit because your blessings run out. You don't quit because you still have blessings. That's the bottom line. So the only thing you have is to make sure you can keep on planting blessings and more blessings and more blessings. And just remember, you quit because you don't have enough blessings. So you build blessings and try again. Okay? And that's called cultivation. Cultivation is that we will fail, but we keep trying. So part of that verse is that everything is a test to see what you're going to do, meaning what you're going to quit. If you choose wrong, meaning if you quit, you have to start over. That's all it means. The Chinese is too poetic, so elegant, so eloquent. But for us, nowadays we want something more meaty and, fishy, that kind of thing. That's why it's very simple. If you quit, okay, you have to start over again. That's all. It's not the end of the world. Okay? I quit and I started over again. I said, it's a good thing I quit. In a way, and that young lady there at JC, in a way, sometimes better to quit because then you have a better chance. Because your good no advisor is a loser. So don't worry, okay? The point here, you try your best, okay? And you keep on planting blessings and more blessings, in your particular case, okay? And I remember when this young lady here first started, she could not sit in full lotus. Look at how calm she is nowadays. By now, after an hour or so, she goes crazy. She goes, it's so pathetic. Okay, but look at her. She didn't quit. Okay, and it turns out, by the way, when you have blessings, okay, it will protect you, it will help you. That's why you don't ever worry about, do I have enough blessings? In Buddhism, we keep on planting blessings and more blessings and more blessings, that's all. You don't say, how come I planted that, I'm still in trouble? Sounds familiar? I think Master Hsuan puts it as 计较. You're calculating. You say, how come I planted so many blessings, more so than the girl next to me, than the man next to me. How come I'm still in trouble? I'm still, struggling so much. Answer is, you cannot progress unless you struggle. So sometimes your blessings force you to struggle. My blessings force me to quit. Because it's a wrong way. The path he left in that side is wrong for me, so I had to quit before they fired me. Yes, 6.
Does this only apply in cases where you have a good knowing advisor? What if someone who is not your good knowing advisor gives you tests? Should you quit those depending on the situation?
Depends. We're talking about cultivation here. When the verse from Master YongHua refers to when you cultivate, you encounter a lot of tests. Okay? The tests are increasingly more difficult, and with one end result, are you going to quit? That's it. Okay? So there's quitting and there's quitting. Meaning what? When you train in full lotus, we tell you to quit after 5 more minutes, after 10 more minutes, after half an hour. Don't overdo it. You're not built for that. Don't be crazy. Don't listen to Master YongHua and said, if my legs breaks, I let them break. I said, are you crazy? Your wife's going to sue me. Don't do that, please. That's what Jesus Jesus is so stupid. He says he can't sit in full lotus, so Master Xianjie said, I help you sit. So he sat from 1 hour, he jumped to 12 hours, and guess what? Now he can't sit anymore. Oops, that's cruel. You should have quit, man. You see, it's so sometimes it's good to quit, sometimes it's not. So don't worry, okay? But keep on planting blessings. Understand that especially I hear a lot of people say nowadays that that is how come it's so difficult? I devote my life to help you. How come I still struggle? My boss gives me a hard time, and you won't even talk to me. You don't care. Really? What kind of master are you? So, the answer is, are you going to quit? I think we're done for tonight. Thank you all for coming. Next week I'll be lecturing same time as well from Korea. So we'll be having a sit and Dharma talk from 5 in local time here, Pacific Standard Time, 5 till 7, and then lecture will be on the 6th Chart Sutra next week from our local time, from 8:30 to 10. Okay, thank you. We'll see you.